right, Book Talk. I think it's time that we have a real conversation about what exactly smut is. And I think it's important that we have this conversation about the definition of smut because I feel like it is becoming a way of describing literature that women enjoy just to either, delegitimize the books that women like or to somehow make a comment about the women who actually enjoy these books. And there's been a lot of news about Onyx Storm coming out and how that is just dragon smut. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard that ACOTAR is nothing but faerie smut. And my problem is, I don't actually think that these works are smut. I don't think that they fit the definition. So let's take a look at some different definitions of this word that I found online, either from the Oxford English Dictionary or Cambridge University Dictionary, and just a few like Merriam-Webster, right? They all have their own definitions. So this is one of them. Magazines, books, pictures, movies, or jokes that offend some because they relate to sex. I did cross some of those words out so that this TikTok doesn't get banned. But let's look at another definition. Okay, here is another definition. Stories, pictures, or comments about sex that deal with it in a way that some people find offensive. There's that word offensive again, right? Okay, so that's the second time I'm seeing that word. And for fun, here's one last definition. Okay, because smut also does refer to like dirt or soot, but you see definition number 3, obscene language or matter. But let's take a look at that word obscene for a second. Let's break that down too. So the word obscene means of the portrayal or description of sexual matters offensive or disgusting by accepted standards of morality and decency. And just to really drive my point home, here's also the definition of offensive: causing someone to feel deeply hurt or upset or angry, actively aggressive, attacking. So in every definition that we've just looked at, and again, these are definitions from Merriam-Webster, from Cambridge University, and also from Oxford University Press. These are all different definitions of what smut is. And there's a few words that keep being repeated, right? It has to do with sex, but it also has to do with being offensive or obscene. And obscene is inherently disgusting or offensive. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Is the romance or the intimacy in something like ACOTAR obscene, or is it disgusting in some way? And I think that this is actually a really important conversation to be having, because I would argue that this does not qualify as smut in that case. And I have not read the Onyx Storm Fourth Wing series yet, and I really want to. I'm very excited about it. I love dragons. But if I was betting, if I was putting money on it, I would also probably say that also might not fit the definition of smut. Now, a book I recently read, Lights Out, which I loved, I actually think that this could qualify as smut, because I do think that there were moments of intimacy that could be viewed as obscene just by way of their violent nature, that sort of stuff. There's a reason there's trigger warnings in this book, but I do think it's important to note that it also, this is very personal to oneself, right? Like one's opinion. And I don't know. I just think that books like this really don't fit the definition. So when I see people and creators and, when I see people attacking the books that women enjoy on Book Talk and degrade them by calling them smut, I think that it's actually a way of attacking the women who enjoy these books. Very often in society, there will be things like explicit videos online that other groups of people, like men, typically enjoy watching. Not that women don't, but statistically more men are watching this material, and you know what I'm talking about, right? Very rarely do I see this labeled as smut. Why is that? But the minute that a woman picks up a romance novel, it's all of a sudden smut. I don't know. All I'm saying is I think that we have to be careful about the way that we're talking about these books, and I think that we're talking about them incorrectly. Because ACOTAR, there's not really much, intimacy that is obscene in the ACOTAR books. Even A Court of Silver Flames, I would argue, is really not that obscene, okay? But this is just my 2 cents. This is more of a rant. I'd love to know what everybody thinks about this, because when I broke the definitions down, I was like, I really don't think that it matches the description. But anyway, that's my rant for the day.